In this game I'm playing Elise, and as you can see here, starting on the red buff, I'm looking to path down towards my bottom lane. The reasoning behind that is because top lane isn't very gankable for me, because I have a Teemo and the enemy top lane has a Camille. So if I come in there, she's just gonna dash away and Teemo doesn't have any setup for me. So the better alternative this game is to path down towards bottom lane. You can see I just pinged where the enemy jungler is starting, and I know this because the enemy bottom lane hasn't showed up and Camille has been in lane for ages. On Elise, you'll always want to be looking for a 3 camp clear. So you can see here I'm doing my red and I'm walking straight to my blue gromp, and as I'm walking you have to be looking at your lanes, especially on Elise. This champion is made for ganking, and if you're not looking at your lanes then you're not gonna find good ganks. And see, again, I'm looking at the mid lane because my champion is on cooldown right now. Looking at the bottom lane while I'm waiting for my Q to come back up, pop back, hit the Q onto the blue buff, sending my W over to the Gromp to make it come to me so I don't have to make it run around. And again, once I'm on cooldown, I'm looking at my bottom lane, I'm looking at mid lane, bot lane, the 2 lanes that are closest to me, and I'm trying to see what can I do. And just now we saw on bottom lane they're fighting, the enemy is low. This mid lane, Sylas is quite safe if I come in there, so as soon as this Gromp is done I'm running straight down to bottom lane. You can see they want to fight, they're super low. We could even dive the Draven if these guys were strong enough, but anyway, the fight doesn't look great, but I know I can turn this around, so I'm still on the way. Saving my E to get in range of Draven. There we go, he gets popped. Missed my cocoon onto the Galio, just gonna auto him a few more times. Trying to set up for a dive, because I'm gonna help Jhin push this wave in now so he gets a good recall. The wave is in and Galio is extremely low and level 2. There are no minions blocking my cocoon, so I'm looking for this guy. I'm zoning him off the wave. I'm letting all the minions hit the tower. I'm letting Jhin hit the tower, looking for the plate, denying Galio, and on my way back to the Skull Crab, the minions came back into lane. The play is over, time to get back to farming. Always cocoon the scuttle when you're looking to take it, break the shield and then damage it. We know that Master Yi is going to be on the top side because he did start on the bottom lane, and you can see here my top laner is sitting in the bush. Both of them are circling around him like sharks, and my Teemo is pinging me, come, help, 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 I'm asking for assistance. This can just be completely ignored because there's no sense in me running all the way to top lane to achieve nothing here. I can just farm my camp, get my 1050 gold for my first base, and get my item and get back onto the map. Because of pings like this, I recommend playing on full mu all in low elo, because no one has any idea of what they're pinging, why they're pinging it, and it's usually always a bad call. So back to base for me now for my first item, and I'm returning back to the top side here because this is where everything is spawned for me. And you can see here there's a big wave just waiting to be picked up here by me, and I see this Master Yi, he's really low, he's gonna eat a tower shot, gonna cocoon him to stop his W, and just gonna take that kill right there and catch this wave while the Teemo TP comes through. As soon as that's over, there's no point in checking the top crab because we know Master Yi would have taken it. So gonna take my Croaks here while I look for potential ganks. Top side, there's nothing. Teemo just came to lane with TP and Camille's gone to base. Mid lane, the mid laner's not even in lane. So this is the perfect time to just be farming. I'm looking for a drive-by gank here to pick up that Sylas bounty, just in case he all-ins on my Jace because he's ahead. So if I'm there, then I'd be able to kill him. But you can see he does not go in, and Galio is roaming towards mid lane, so I'm just going to pick this crab up for myself. And looks like a very, very bad situation, so I'm just going to get the hell out of there. Gonna catch this wave under tower and move on to my camps. Instead of going for my own camps here, I can see my bot lane is very pushed up, and Galio just walked down through the river, and I know Master Yi's on the bottom side, so a gank's gonna be happening here. So realistically, there's nothing I can really do here except potentially save Jhin if I cocoon the Galio. But, as soon as I realize this is a bad situation, I'm out of there. Every single time you're walking between camps, you need to look at lanes, and you can see I just saw Sylas is less than half health in lane, so if he is far up enough, then I need to look for him and pick up his bounty. Otherwise, he's playing quite safe right now, so I can just continue farming. We know that Master Yi is in the area, he's on the bottom side of the map, so if I just leave my Jace here alone, Master Yi should rotate here and just pick up the Jace for free, so I come in, help him push the wave out, grant him some safety, and then I go back to farming. You can see this Teemo top laner is completely trolling. He's just sitting in my red buff bush and he's refusing to lane right now basically. And because we just saw Master Yi show up mid lane, I'm using this timing to go take his Gromp because he was clearing the wave under his own tower. If my Teemo wasn't raging here, we could have just picked this Camille up because she's so far up in the lane. I'm going to try by myself anyway because all of my lanes are losing and completely failed my repel there, so I'm not going to catch up to her. Gonna catch this wave first though before I return back to farming, because this right here is worth more than my Krugs themselves. I've been keeping an eye on mid lane looking at Sylas because he looks very gankable, but here Jace just lets Master Yi run at him and kill him even though I was pinging him, so in this case it's what can you do, there's nothing really. 3 minions there under the tower, it's not really worth the time to rotate there if I can just pick up these raptors myself. They're trying to set up for a dive on my bottom lane, but this looks completely winnable if we just fight it. If they try dive with me on the way, this would be 3 kills for us and would completely turn the game around, but you can see my Jhin walks it into the Draven, puts himself into the wall and just gets absolutely blasted. There's not much else I can do here other than try look for a pick on somebody and catch this wave. I'm really low here and I have enough gold for my first item, so this is a perfect time to go back to base and buy up. The only camp I have up right now is Wolves, so I'm walking mid lane here because the wave is really big, and in case Sylas tries to dive my Jhin, I'll be around to pick Sylas up as a trade kill. But Sylas doesn't go for it, so I'm just farming whatever I can right now. We just saw Galio disappear from the map in the bottom side, roaming towards mid lane, and I have a control ward here and nothing to farm, so I'm walking in here to place a ward in this bush to be safe. And you can see Galio running in straight onto my Jhin, and I'm like, let's fight this. This is 3 versus 2 right now. Just fight this. We need to force this. You need to look out for these kind of plays when you know you've got the numbers advantage. Look, I'm running straight in, trying to make sure this fight happens. Fail flash. I was thinking I can flash and then cocoon him and just about survive. But still, this fight is really good. This is still in our advantage, and my team should win this. This is the kind of stuff you want to look for. You have to be patient and wait for opportunity like this when your laners are behind. I'm running towards topside here because there are 3 camps that I could farm, potentially a Herald as well. Maybe we can look for a dive on Camille if she gets low versus Teemo, or even I could just maybe look for a counter gank here in case someone tries to roam here just like this Galio. We know that Master Yi should be on the bottom side because both first buffs are respawning now. You can see here, he's really looking for my Teemo. I'm like, we can totally fight this. This is top laner versus top laner support versus top laner jungler. We can definitely burst at least one of them down. So here I go for the Galio because he's gone up so far, trying to find the Camille here, but of course she's just going to walk away here. Sylas is coming in with a teleport, and like, we can totally still fight this. Perfect W there on his TP. Even my Jace has rotated here, but like now at this stage we should just back off. Maybe look for Herald, look for base, look for mid plates, whatever we can, because we're definitely not diving this. But like, I'm just going to keep hanging around here because the way these guys are playing, a fight could break out. You can see here I've decided to come towards the middle lane instead of farming my red buff because I'm going to get the minions here and prevent Draven from killing this tower. The red buff can wait, but if my tower falls in the mid lane, it's not going to resurrect. I don't know if Draven is behind Galio here, so there's no point taking the risk or even looking to chase Camille. I can just farm here while I'm lacking information to make a good decision. If Master Yi walks into my jungle here, this could definitely be a pick opportunity, but you can see I'm leaving my Krugs in the top side because I don't want to just give up 3 camps to Master Yi in the bottom lane. You can see here, dive happening in the mid lane. I'm doing my best to turn it around. We're going to trade 1 for 2 and 2 for 2 here because Master Yi is quite strong right now and I don't really have anyone to play with. While being behind though, this is actually not too bad. And it completely works out in the end because Nautilus does pick up the Master Yi there. If you thought your teammates were bad, just look at what this Jhin does. This game is a complete nightmare. Of course, if you see an enemy champion this low, you've got to chase and look for them. Here, Galio's engaging on us. Even if he has someone coming behind him for backup, we can totally burst this guy in time. Here comes the Silas. He completely whiffs his E onto me. I'm very low here, but I will survive, and I do pick him up with my red smite. Really nice. Not going to base here because I don't really have enough gold for my Zhonya's. So I'm just going to heal up off of these raptors and see what else there is for me to do on the map then. And there's no way I'm going to defend top side versus that Camille, so I'm pathing down towards my bottom side until I notice, look at mid lane, 2 players pushing. If Camille roams from top side, or if someone tries to come collapse on here, if they try fight 2v2 Camille and Yi, I can sit here and turn it around into a 3 versus 2. And this is exactly what we need to come back in this game. So you can see here, Camille, just as expected, one-shot her. Here comes the Galio once again. Mastery is quite low. We want to focus him because he's the damage dealer here. And you can see he's very, very strong. My Jace doesn't pick him up because Mastery does flash away. But like at this stage, he does need to back off very low. And I do have enough gold now for a good base. So I'm going to quickly take these wolves, heal up, maybe my blue buff, just so the enemy team can't take my camps. And then I'm going to go back to base and buy items. And you can just see how much of a nightmare this game really is. Here I'm seeing Silas pushing in the tower by himself, and this is definitely 1 versus 1 potential here. I should have waited for the caster minions here to die before I engaged on him, so he takes some tower shots. Completely misclicked my Zhonya here, but I'm allowed to go for plays like this simply because I've kept pace with the game. Like, even though I have 3 losing lanes, I'm getting trolled, and they're completely inting the game, I'm still strong enough to have an individual impact in this game. And you can see here, Galio comes in once again. We're looking for the cocoon. There you go. Pop him 1 for 1. Look, my team's looking for Camille still. And if we were just a little bit stronger, or if I just played it a little bit better there and waited for some more caster minions to die and didn't misclick my Zhonya, that could have potentially been 3-4 kills. I just want to bring attention to how I'm not walking into Fog of War blind by myself. I'm looking to group with my team, look for picks, look for 3v2, 4v3 fights, and so on. You can see, just about gonna survive this one. It was a bit of a scary one. And we're definitely gonna have to give up the dragon here, unless we can somehow magically find a pick or 2. Healing up on the wolves here really quickly, just in case a fight does break out. Trying to find a pick here. Camille puts down a ward and I'm avoiding that vision here. Trying to see if she face checks me. Looking for a cocoon. Nope, she doesn't. She's walking in here now again. I'm looking around. Where's my team? Can I cocoon her? Can I go on her? Will they back me up? And obviously the answer here is no. My Jace gets solo killed by Draven. My Teemo's off at the side getting absolutely blasted now by the Camille. And I just don't have anyone to play with right now. So instead of being AFK here in this spot, I'm just going to go towards wherever I can find some farm. I'm going to pick up this crab for myself. And I'm going to go push in that top wave because I can't really defend that mid lane tower with Jhin and Nautilus when all 5 of them are alive. So it's better if I pressure rather than just AFK right now at this stage. Death timers are quite low though, so I will want to regroup with my team after this wave. This is a 3 versus 2 situation and they've just blown all of their cooldowns, so I'm looking in here to find the Silas first because I don't want this guy healing up 6 health bars and making this potentially a hard fight. So that was a 2 for 1 there, and that's really good for us while we're behind. I'm looking for this Yi from the Fog of War. He's just wasted his W. I'm looking for him here, going on him straight away. I have my Zhonya in case I need it. Pop the Zhonya, and there you go, 3 for 1. And this is how you want to look for those comebacks. You need to look for good opportunities. You can't just go face checking Fog of War and inting with your teammates. We know that the 3 players we just killed are only on their way onto the Baron here, so I'm looking to start a fight here. Even if it's a 3v3 and we trade evenly like 2 for 2, it would be super worth it for us. It would delay their Baron push and potentially give us some bounties, but you can see my team completely was not on the same page here because this would have been a good play, but unfortunately sometimes you just do end up going by yourself and no one follows up, even though it can be good. And this is exactly why I wanted to look for like a 2 for 2 trade, because we'd be delaying their push right here. You can see I'm staying in my ranged form here, trying to defend, because if I jump in melee into these guys, I'm just going to get absolutely blasted. Galio goes in And I'm trying not to overextend here. I'm looking to spread my abilities around, spread my damage. If Galio dies without me having to use my abilities, I'm not going to use them on him. And you can see how I'm keeping my distance in this fight just about perfectly, making sure I'm out of range of that Everfrost from Silas, out of range from any auto attacks from Master EQ, and we completely kill 4 of them right there, only trading the Lawless in exchange. So enemy team just made a really, really big throw. So now while the enemy team is dead, I'm just going to try get as much farm as I can. I'm being very cautious in my approach here into the Fog of War. I'm feeling like maybe I'll find one person in this bush that I can just one-tap myself, but unexpectedly I ran into Galio with Silas right behind him. I was thinking I was going to run into just one person, but even in that case, in this situation, I am completely out of position, and this is like a very, very common mistake which throws games. So thankfully I do manage to just about get out of here, and now it is a 5 versus 4 fight, so we could definitely look for it here. And you can see I'm keeping my distance as always. If I can't get in there, I'm not gonna go in and just kill myself. I'm gonna stay patient and look for an opportunity where I can go in, but you can see unfortunately my teammates just are completely inting it way too hard, and these opportunities, well, there is one opportunity there, but at this stage the enemy team is just far too ahead. My teammates are just inting a bit too much, but yeah, completely doomed. But at least hopefully you did learn a bit of how to play from behind. Like, I know this was not like a comeback game, but hopefully some of this thought process does help you out in your own games.